That's 8 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives caught in just over a year under President Trump. Exactly double the number caught the previous 4 years combined. So you have a top 10 target list. And you can change and decide who those targets are, seemingly on a whim, because this woman only shot and killed one person. She shot 2 people, killed one. 20-something years ago. Has been on the run from the law for the last 6. If I understand the story as I read it correctly, she had shot someone, shot 2 people, one survived, one ended up dying. She's been on the run. And so the FBI says, put her on the top 10 wanted list. And then they go and arrest her. And they say it's because they put her on the top 10 most wanted list that she was turned in and arrested. And I suspect it's the opposite. I think they already knew where she was. And they then put her on the list so that when they go and arrest her, they can do this. This is now number 8 of the top 10 most wanted list caught. Well, that's very convenient. If I just wrote a list of 10 people I already had arrest records ready to go for, and people sitting outside the door on, cuffs ready to be clacked over the wrists of, then I could just change the list and go, we just got all 10 top 10 wanted FBI people in one day. But then that wouldn't be believable. People would know. So you do it this way. Isn't this absurd? Isn't this a little bit dumb? Does anyone else feel fooled by this? I certainly do not. We put her on the FBI top 10 most wanted list, and then just a few days later, she was busted. It must be because the FBI is good at its job. They're not at all just setting people up and putting criminals in a position where they then can be framed for a crime they didn't actually commit, but it's cleaning up the streets. It's easy work, like it is with Tyler Robinson. As I've made this case a couple different times, just imagine that you're the kid sitting at the FBI, you just got a job, you're there a year, and you're scrubbing all of the intel websites that you're, tasked with crawling and scrolling and looking for data and evidence on people from. Just checking chats is all. And you see, as a young FBI analyst, there's a kid in this chat on this campus, in this new Discord, that this person is maybe a plant in. This analyst has created multiple little online accounts. This is how they're trolling the web to see what's going on. Human and signals intelligence combined. And this FBI guy is saying, what the fuck? This guy is saying he wants to kill Charlie Kirk. They're laughing about it. They're making memes about it. They're not even joking. They're actually talking about how they would do it. And so he goes, hey, you want to do it with me? I'll help you. All I need is a gun. You can see how they would have no problem convicting a guy like Tyler Robinson in their mind, because he's online spewing all of this bullshit in their Discords, thinking he's totally safe to say all the hateful, nasty, whatever crap he wants to. All the same things he, ironically, would accuse Charlie Kirk of. He's in those little forums thinking he's safe, talking to other pedo, trans, furry, lover, whatevers. If we're to believe that that's true, he's in there incriminating himself, and the analyst doesn't have to jump very far in thought to say, this kid is saying he's willing to do it. He thinks he's actually helping someone truly shoot Charlie Kirk. While we entrap him and set him up to be the patsy, he thinks he is helping someone. So therefore my conscience is freed and I don't have to worry about feeling guilty when we railroad this kid. That's how they do it. They're not going to pick a pure white lily church-going kid who has no criminal inclination and set him up because that's obvious. They instead pick a kid who is right there on the edge of being willing to commit the crime himself. Then they have him in the right place at the right time when they commit the crime, and they just say he did it. They have the proof that shows he was willing to, and it's as good as open and shut to the public. That is how the FBI runs all of their ops with all of their criminals. And so here, this is no different. Maybe she's an FBI pimp's informant. She's a street lady, perhaps. She's on the run. She's a hooker that pulled a gun, shot 2 other hookers, is now on the run. Who knows the backstory? Who knows who at the FBI is an agent who treats her as an informant, and now they got to bring her in. They were running her as an op for 6 years. You have no idea. We just see the headline. We have no way to ground this story in reality other than from what they're telling you. And the reason they're telling you this is to convince you that this FBI is so effective and efficient that they're able to get 8 of the top 10 most wanted criminals and fugitives that the FBI has listed wanted. They're not the top 10 most dangerous. They're not the top 10 longest sought. It's not the top 10 by current resources allocated and spent towards finding. Right? If we said the FBI is currently seeking, we'll make up a name, Mohammed Sheikh Khalil Mohammed, one of the co-conspirators from 9/11. We've been searching for him for 25 years. Okay, making it up. Why wouldn't that person be on the FBI's top 10 most wanted? How many years worth of salaries for analysts are going into that search for that person? Shouldn't that person be number one? So that's a hypothetical, but the example questions then, it begs the question, who are the top 10 on the FBI's most wanted list at any given point? Who's deciding that? What arbitrary factors are they making that determination on? And is it just so, as I suspect, they can put a woman on the list and then a couple weeks or days later they say, oh, we got another one. It was because we put her on that list. So many people at home are just so in tuned with that list. When we update it, people naturally flush out criminals. They want you to think it's your neighbor calling you instead of the AI in your own home, ratting on all of your data back to the NSA. They want you to think that someone at the post office saw something and said something and called in, and that the system works and you should trust it. Instead of, yeah, they're using AI, they track everyone everywhere. They knew where she was, they then moved her onto the list and then nabbed her and then caught a nice headline.